Hey guys, welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devon.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the show where we talk about all things Taylor Swift.
That's right. This is a show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to our Lord and Savior, Taylor Swift, fly. Did you just do the
symbols of the cross or
a Hail Mary? Is that what it is?
No.
Can you tell we are both not Catholic?
I think I was raised Catholic. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to be talking.
You think? How do you
that or
think?
Christian? I don't know the difference.
I was raised non-denominational Christian.
I went to CCD.
That's Catholic, yeah.
Cool.
We'll
We'll be discussing everything from Taylor news, theories, and more.
How we were raised. So, how have you been? I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
I don't think we have. And that's partially, I think, just craziness in the world and all that kind of fun stuff. I've been doing all right. I haven't been doing terrible, but haven't been doing great either.
It's that 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Still on that 2020.
Yeah, but I did pet and hold and feed baby goats this weekend.
That sounds like everything you need in your life.
It was a good day break. I was like, oh, I'm happy. And then today it hit me. I'm like,
oh, I'm not happy anymore. The goats went away.
Yeah, I really wanted to smuggle one home. I was really close to adopting a cat too. And then I was like, nah.
You had a wild weekend. Oh my gosh.
Just one day. I went to a farm. It's a nice, cute little social distanced activity. But so many things. But yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. I've been doing some stuff for some other podcasts that I'm working on all weekend. That's like all I've been doing. I took off every Friday for the rest of the year to kind of work with my mental health, which has been like kind of like a plus and a minus, because it's great that I have that day off, but now I have that stress of missing a day of work every Monday.
Yeah. Are Fridays really that busy though?
No, but apparently as soon as I started taking them off, they became everyone's most important day, because I'll come back in with like 30 emails every Monday. And I'm like, you guys, I never got emails on Fridays. What are you doing? But other than that, I mean, yeah, like I'm in the same boat. Can't really complain. I haven't really been doing anything crazy. I haven't got to pet anything other than my cat. I got Halsey's book of poetry. That
finally.
came in the mail the other day. Yeah. Actually, I got it 2 days before it released. I have no idea how that happened. And then I have the Target special edition version, and then I'm getting the regular edition tomorrow when it actually releases, because I bought 2 copies of the same book.
I remember that story you told on one of the intros. I forget what episode it was, but wild ride.
We're getting there. This is episode 31.
That's insane.
31.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
31. We're
How old is Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift is 30. I want to say 1999. No, it's 31. 31.
This is our Taylor Swift episode.
This is oh my god.
It's also 13 backwards.
I was gonna say, what is 31 backwards? So did you see the new Capital One ad? Have you seen?
Yes.
I saw all these people post about it, and I didn't see it until literally 5 minutes before we started recording this.
Oh really?
Yeah. No, I saw like all the pictures. I saw like people posting like, oh my gosh, like she did a new thing. Look at all these Easter eggs, all that stuff, and that's about it.
Well, I saw it when I was at work because I just Google the news, because apparently that's who I am as a person now. But I watched it and I was like, oh, this is cute. And then I went on Instagram later and I realized, oh, that one shot of the closets has so many Easter eggs.
I saw like someone point out like all of the different trinkets and tchotchkes that are on the shelf are like different songs from folklore. Like one of them was a hatchet buried, like so like kind of from Invisible String, and stuff like that. Like someone went through and did all of those. I don't know if we want to break all of that down.
No.
But it's cute. It's a cute little thing. I finally found out why I haven't got my cardigan yet, because they're all in that freaking closet. But yeah. Do you want to get into the episode?
Sure. Let us get into the episode.
So, Devon, what are we talking about on this typical Tuesday night?
Glad you asked. This week, we will be breaking down This Is Me Trying, track 9 off of Folklore, for this week's song breakdown.
So Joe is not a huge fan of this song.
I am, so let's get into it. So some quick facts about the song. It was featured in the Sleepless Nights chapter. That was the second chapter that was released.
What was our theory on it?
This is me trying. It's, being like staying up with your thoughts about like, this is me. I'm putting myself out there. Like I can't do anything else. Anxiety over whether or not this is actually going to work, but at least I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. What was your ranking as of episode 25?
My ranking was number 8. Yours was wrong.
Yours was wrong. Are you kidding me? 8? That's so high. That's August numbers.
Your August is also very wrong. So
I think I had it at what, 14? Oof, that's really low.
Yeah, it is
very
really
correct.
Very 3 away from the bottom.
3 away from the bottom, but it's just slightly better than Epiphany and 7.
No.
Slightly better.
So this song debuted at number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100 during the week of August 8th, 2020. So number 39 out of 100. That's pretty on par with like number 8 for me.
What?
If you're ranking out of like 100 songs, number 39, I feel like that kind of ranks up to like the equivalent of an 8 out of 17.
You're just stretching. You're reaching.
I don't know.
Reaching hard for that. No, I mean, it's probably fine. I think, like, one of the things that you said about this song when we first heard it was you immediately dove into, this is a Bleacher song. This is a Bleacher song. This is a Bleacher song.
This is 100% a Bleacher song.
And you said, and I said, oh, I've only heard one Bleacher song. And you were like, what? Go listen to more Bleacher songs. So I added a bunch to my Spotify, and I skipped them every single time they came up. I did not care for them.
I love Bleachers.
I like I Want to Get Better, but I also like it, the cover by Against the Current better than the original version. Yeah, so Bleachers, not a big fan.
Some Jack Antonoff slander. He does produce better songs for other artists than he does for himself. I will admit that.
I like what him as a producer better than him as a singer bander person in a band.
Okay.
Guy thing.
All right.
Yep.
Sure. Let's go with that. Some context around the song. So I think that this song is her accepting fault for the relationship, similar to themes of songs like Afterglow and Back to December, where she's placing the blame on herself and saying, okay, well, this was my fault, and now I'm trying to resolve it.
Really? You think that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting. I love songs where she takes the blame because it makes it very easy to point to people who incorrectly say, oh, she's just like this crazy person who thinks that everyone she dates is terrible, blah, blah, blah. But there are a lot of instances of her acknowledging her being wrong. I don't like the sentiment of saying, this is me trying, being admitting fault, because I think it's still asking for leeway. I think.
I get. I mean, I have a lot of regrets about that.
Yeah, there. I think there are definitely lines.
I don't know what to say, but I'm here in your doorway.
That's a good point. There are definitely lines that I definitely think are owning up to things, but I think the phrase "this is me trying" in a vacuum is asking for, look, I know it's not the best, but this is me trying. Can you cut me some slack?
Yeah.
So I think it's both ways, and I think it's how you interpret it. And I don't think it's malicious. Like, I'm not here saying
I don't think so.
Taylor is gaslighting this person by saying, like, well, this is the best I'm going to do, so deal with it.
Well, if this song is from James's perspective, it makes sense.
It definitely makes sense from a James's perspective, which we talked about before. I think we'll probably bring that up a little bit down the line.
Yeah.
Is there any other context around the song you want to go into before we dive into some lyrics?
Great song.
You're just wrong.
Context of being a great song.
You're just so wrong. Anyway, do you want to dive into some lyrics? What are some lyrics? I think you had
a lot.
You had a lot more than I did.
I've been having a hard time adjusting. Girl, same.
You have been touting that lyric for so long.
It's just such an intro line. Like you talked about last episode when you mentioned I had the shiniest wheels, now they're rusting. That's also a good line, yes. But the fact that you just start right off the bat with, I'm really having a hard time right now.
There's something about lines in songs that are common parlance, which I just wanted to use that word to sound really fancy because we were very dumb last episode, so I kind of boosted up.
Yes.
But basically just like regular speech. Like it doesn't sound like a lyric. It just sounds like something you would say. You would walk up to someone, you would say to someone, I've been having a hard time adjusting. And when there's a lyric like that, that is very just regular. It's so nice to have that in a song because it's just a feeling put so plainly. There's no like gloss on it or like a bow tied around it. There's no like metaphor. There's nothing like crazy standing out. It's just very plain, very simple. Bruh.
Yeah, it's simple.
I've been having a hard time adjusting. And you just like listen to it and you're like, I have.
Taylor, how did you know? Well, during COVID, we've all been having a hard time adjusting. So she said, you know what? I got you.
Honestly, this might be the line of 2020. 100%.
Yes. I think you picked out the next lyric.
I did, because it's so good. This is like, I think one of the things like we mentioned we were doing our themes of the album is just death, morbidity, and like bad stuff. And the line that like really gets me is pulled the car off the road to the lookout, could have followed my fears all the way down.
Damn.
Like, it's so dark. It reminds me of like it harkens back to Hoax when she says
stood on the cliffside.
Stood on the cliffside saying give me a reason. But like it's just another thing of like her saying like I'm gonna jump off a freaking cliff. And like you don't get lyrics like that in a Taylor Swift song.
No,
generally.
you do not.
Like they're so depressing, so over the top. Like and it paints a great picture. It feels very Rhode Island. Like that's something I don't think we've mentioned a lot. But I do picture Rhode Island in a majority of these songs. Obviously, a lot of that comes from The Great American Dynasty, which is 100% set in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of just like the beaches, cliffs.
Okay.
Like you just get a lot of the natural geography of Rhode Island in these songs. Salt air, rust, salt box houses, northeast, all that stuff. So but this reminds me of it so much, and it's just you get this vision of like a dark night, and you just see there are two things that's interesting. Like when you picture some people in a car on a cliffside, what do you picture?
Like make out point.
Exactly. Which ties to the teenage love triangle kind of thing, but also teenage suicide.
Well, I think that this is a great example of like a parallel to August, which comes immediately after this song. And you see, instead of this dreamy atmosphere, when I hear this song, I picture I picture one person in a car where the person used to be just driving around thinking about how they screwed up so bad. And it's late at night. You're trying to clear your thoughts in your mind, and you just pull out to where you might have gone before with that person. And you're like, why am I even doing this? Like,
kind of harkens back to our song. Got a one hand feel on the steering wheel. And there's a line, I can't think of it. You'll know the lyric where she's like, she's sitting in the passenger seat or whatever. Like,
that's a lot of her songs.
It's true.
She didn't start driving till Lover.
Well, when you live in New York, you don't really, I guess. No. But no, it's interesting when you can like pull a positive song that relates to a negative song in that way. And one thing like you mentioned when we were talking about August in our last episode, it was very sunny.
Yeah.
And this song is very nighttime.
Pitch black.
Like there's a lot of dark, there's a lot of moon. I wouldn't say pitch black. I would say like a somber blue. Like a navy blue darkness. You know, like that, like the moon is lighting it up a little bit, but it's still like that blue darkness.
Okay. So like dusk.
Darker than dusk.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the next name of our band.
Darker than dusk. Honestly, that's a good band name. TM.
It's better than the other one that we came up with.
So the next lyric, they told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential. Okay, Fall Out Boy. Calm down.
I think I pointed that out in the beginning. Like wasted like all my potential is such a take this to your grave lyric. And we actually watched like videos on Fall Out Boy last night, which was really fun. But no, yeah, wasted like all my potential is such a Pete Wentz lyric.
Yeah, cages were mental. Yeah, wasted like my potential. It's just such a great play on words.
And you kind of get that with the next line too. On my words, shoot to kill when I'm mad. A loaded God complex, cock and pull it. Like,
just so many metaphors, but they're all so great. Like, and it just paints this picture.
And quick.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing about Fall Out Boy is they will come out with very like in the same line, just word switches. Like like the Wheel of Fortune before and after category. Did you ever see that one where it's like, oh my gosh, they just put like two phrases, can smush them together. But that's kind of like like Loaded God Complex would be one of them.
Yes.
But yeah, it's very much like that. Wasted like all my potential. Like you just take those words and flip them in a bunch of different ways. The next line is one that I have like volleyballed back and forth from hating and liking every time.
I love it.
Did you like it in the beginning when you first heard it?
I think I was confused by it at the beginning. I was just kind of like, that's a weird line. It sounds odd. But as time progressed, it flows, so the flow of it is really what convinces me.
That's a good point.
And it's such a Bleachers song to an absolute T. That is a Bleachers lyric 100%. The way that she sings it is literally Jack Antonoff singing it right there.
So what is the lyric?
I was so ahead of the curve became a sphere.
I can see that being a Bleachers lyric. I do like I like the second the delivery of the second line. The curve became a sphere. Like it just has a good cadence.
But it has that scoop in the first curve. I was so ahead of the curve became a sphere. Yeah.
It has a very good cadence to it and flow. And I like what it's saying, but I don't like how it's said. I think is okay. That's probably wrong. I like what it's saying. I like how it's delivered, but I don't like the words chosen to convey the message, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I like the idea of like, because I feel like so many kids felt this in school where like they were told in elementary school, oh, you're reading above your level, you're doing all this stuff, and then you get to like college or something where your whole life you weren't really challenged by school, and then you somehow just regress and now you're all the way in the back of the class. You don't know how to fix that. I don't know if you, I never studied in high school. I never had to study. I passed everything, no problem. And then I got to college and I was like, they were like, you have to study. And I'm like, how do I study?
Yep.
And like, you had to figure out how to study at like 20.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on? Like, I was so good at this. And it's exactly what this line is. I was so ahead of the curve. The curve became a sphere. And now I'm not ahead of the curve anymore.
And you think about Taylor, like, I mean, I don't know how she was in school, but all of a sudden she was whisked away into this, singer-songwriter world. She might have been ahead of her classmates, and now she's behind them, and technically.
And it relates to also, what's his name? James. Which their name, we don't know. Where, like, this whole thing kind of relates to it because it is, you see the lines like, I've been having a hard time adjusting after they broke up, after him and Betty broke up, after him graduating, I've been having a hard time adjusting. Could have followed my fears all the way down. He just wants to end it all. He gets wasted. He just turns to alcohol. Words shoot to kill when he's mad. When he gets pissed off about the situation, he just wants to hurt.
He has regrets about it.
He has regrets about it, all of that stuff. And then in school, like, he was so ahead of the curve in school, and then when that happened, he just fell behind everyone because he couldn't think of anything else. I think, did I write the next line?
I did, but
we
both like it.
Yeah, we do.
At the end of the bridge, you're a flashback in a film reel on the one screen in my town. Cadence, cadence.
I hate this because every time we do a song breakdown, I feel like I like the song more. And like, because I just see things that like I just don't really think about unless I like put a lot of effort into thinking about them. And like, there is so much great cadence in this song.
Yes, the pacing is beautiful.
You're a flashback on a film reel on the one screen in my town.
Yep.
And we get that same tie to the motif of film reels and movies, and this whole album, like we said, is a movie.
Yep.
It's a full story.
It's a movie.
Care to explain yourself there?
Have you never heard that? Like that like F-boy thing to say like, this about to be a movie.
Is that a Trevor Wallace thing?
Maybe.
It sounds like a Trevor Wallace thing. Anyway, Devon.
Sorry.
Jeez. No, but flashback on a film reel it's so cool because it like ties a lot of things together. Like this reminds me then of Exile, reminds me of The One, where the matinee. Like it's cool that like it has like those callbacks to the other album or the other songs on the album.
Yes.
I put this one in here because this is 100% sign that this whole album is one because but I'm here in your doorway.
Yeah.
That is definitive proof maybe that that this song is from James's perspective. He's the whole point of Cardigan and Betty is him standing in her doorway. And this is him like I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I want to fix this. I want to fix us. I know I screwed up. I'm here in your doorway to try to fix it. And it just really fits that.
What I think of when I hear Betty, I think it's James in the moment, leading up to it, all this anxiety, all this build up, and he's there and he's not really thinking about what's happening. He's just kind of like, I'm here, I showed up, blah, blah, blah. And now in this song, it's showing like the actual replaying that moment back in time and like, what did I do? Like, how did I screw up so much? And I'm here in your doorway. And
yeah,
it's a cool parallel to see the happiness of the one song compared to the somberness of this song.
And the upbeat versus the ridiculously downbeat. Like, this song was like the slowest. I don't know, I haven't looked at the BPM yet, but it feels like the slowest song in the world. And this is how you know Joe knows, still after 30 some episodes, still knows nothing about music.
You're gonna get disproven in a bit.
So if we want to move to another well-built bridge,
Yes.
I put the whole bridge in this song. I wanted to try to narrow it down, but I couldn't.
No.
It's so good. The lyrics are great. It's hard to be at a party when I feel like an open wound. I like this, again, tying back to the love triangle, where in Betty he says he just saw you dancing
With the dance, yeah.
with the dance. Like, it's hard to feel at a party when you feel like an open wound. It's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. That was the line I was going to point out, but the open wound is so good too. Like, it's another one of those like graphic things that we're hearing about. Open wound is a really graphic line to bring about. And it's hard to be anywhere these days and all I want is you. It's
what a line.
It's so good, and it relatable. There are times where like you're fresh off a breakup, you feel like an open wound, and you just don't want to go anywhere because it's all you're thinking about. There's nothing you're not thinking about.
They want to go anywhere. They just can't go home.
Oh my gosh. Do you want some water? She used to drink water.
All right.
She was 60% water.
All right.
Devon, explain to me why I don't understand BPM at all.
All right. Before we get into BPM, let's just give some quick facts. The runtime of the song is 3 minutes, 29 seconds. It is an A major, and it is 136 BPM. You are very off. The past couple songs have been around the 90-ish range. This is higher than those songs.
Are you serious?
Ready? We're going to do the experiment again.
Okay, ready?
So, I've been having a hard time adjusting. I had the shiniest wheels, now they're rusting.
Okay, yeah. Dang. Well, I guess it's so interesting because you get that BPM, but you get such a slow, elongated delivery of the lyrics that just really plays with you. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's the background of the like that beat in the background. Like, it feels slow, but it's fast. And the echoing of the song. So we'll get into all this in a second. So instruments, we have keyboard on the song, percussion, strings, saxophone, background vocals, or as I like to call them, Jackron vocals, because it's Jack Antonoff singing them. Organ, bass, and electric guitar.
I hate you so much, Devon.
I'm sorry. I'm really proud of that one. The Jackron vocals.
Oh, my God.
So this echo.
Yeah.
The entire song, there's an echo effect on her voice, and it is just beautiful. It fills the space. It makes it sound so full and this hauntingly beautiful that it elongates it all, and it's just so nice.
It's like when you're singing in the bathroom and crying in the shower.
It just that's probably why it feels so slow, because it feels so like drawn, and you're like,
and like the echo makes the drawn out vocals feel longer.
Yep. So we mentioned this earlier before, but the track list, it's right after August. So you're daydreaming, and then bam, like instant regret.
Well, it's also because it's also, you get, like you said, regret. Like, you have a fair regret.
Who would have thought?
You just love getting slapped in the face with regret.
Yes. So this beat heavy intro that I just mentioned to you, pure Jack Antonoff production. He is great with his percussion. So the dun 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 dun.
Devon, you put Jackron vocals in this notes twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I did. I love Jackron vocals. I'm gonna tweet Jack Antonoff and just go, hey Jack, I love your Jackron vocals.
You can quick trademark it.
Yes. So the strings in this song, the partner. This segment is just me making weird sound effects.
No, I love it. It's great.
But the strings provide a great transition. It's sonically a very simple song, and so I'll get into what that means in a second. But the beat is really what carries the song. It's the background, the backbeat of the song. But I was sitting at my computer yesterday, and I'm like, this song is not. It's not a complex song. It's a very simple song. But I needed to prove it to myself. So I put out my little garage band and my little keyboard on my, on my keyboard. Or piano on my keyboard. And I was trying to figure out what actual notes were being played.
It was like watching magic. I couldn't understand it. She, like, the song wasn't even playing. And she, like, you could just see her go, like, get like half of the melody down just from memory, and I said, "How are you doing this, you witch?" And then I burned her at the stake.
Now I'm not
this
here
is
anymore.
Not Devon.
Now I'm Avril Lavigne.
Actually,
devil.
It is, because witches can survive being burned at the stake. They're magic. I don't know why people in the 1800s didn't know this. Anyway,
yes.
Jackron vocals.
Yeah. So the melody is so simple. It's really just it's an A, B, C sharp, and D. And like we said, the song is an A major.
You said it was like only 4 notes.
But it's just really dun 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 dun. It's literally 4 notes. Sometimes it's a little higher, sometimes it's a little lower, especially during the bridge. But it's just such a simple song. The Jackron vocals, like you had mentioned, they're spread out throughout the song at times. It's very, very subtle. Like Joe normally doesn't hear it. I probably wouldn't have heard it if I didn't listen intently. He just kind of adds it, like, I think, but I'm here in your doorway, he says, or like right before that. Very, very subtle. And there's this 25-second outro. At least I'm trying, she says. And then it's just that kind of like fades away.
It's like it's denouement. Like, it's just, I've hit you with this, all these lyrics, these heavy thoughts, these heavy metaphors, things like that. And now you're going to sit in the song and stew in it for a little bit before the next one comes.
Before the affair.
Before the second affair.
Again, apparently.
So yeah, no, like I said, like I this is my number, what 14? Was it 14? And I feel like every time we do a song breakdown, the song at least jumps up 3 points for me every time.
I love that you say that, because every time we do a song review, I feel like I usually have a song higher than you do. And so I'm just like, yeah, that's why it's great. And then Joe's like, I don't know. And then we do it. And he's like, you know what? Maybe you were right.
Well, you do. You point out things that I just don't really see. And it also forces me to look at lyrics and like do my little English major thing of like breaking down what these lyrics mean, what the context around them are, and what the other metaphors and implications the lyrics could have. And when I do stuff like that and get like the words out and see how the words work, it's really interesting to me. And I kind of go a little crazy with it. I'm sure in a week it'll go back down, but I'm high on it right now.
Exactly. Great.
So do you have any closing statements? Anything you want to say?
I think we just summed it up pretty well.
I think this was a good one. I liked it. So if you like what you hear, if you like hearing this episode, you want to hear more song breakdowns or anything else, be sure to give us a review and a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. If you have any friends that are Swifties, let them know about us and tell them to give us a listen. We really like when you guys share us. It is the best way to grow this podcast.
Yes. Make sure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at We Need to Calm Down Podcast. On Twitter, we are WNTCD Podcast. Everywhere else, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all We Need to Calm Down Podcast.
If you have a suggestion for an episode, let us know. Drop us a comment, drop us a DM. We really love hearing from you guys, and we've actually made episodes in the past based on what you guys have wanted to hear, so we're always happy to do some more.
Yep. All right. Well, aside from that, thank you for listening to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. We will be seeing you next typical Tuesday.
Come back.
We'll be here.